Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into the story of a single plant, one so important they call it white gold. We're going to look at how it became the very backbone of a national economy and the powerful institution that was built to protect it. And they don't call it white gold for nothing. This isn't just about farming. We're talking about the raw material, the lifeblood that fuels Pakistan's absolutely enormous textile industry. And just to give you a sense of the sheer scale here, at its peak, Pakistan was turning out over 14 million bales of this stuff. I mean, that is a colossal figure, and it really drives home just how much economic muscle this one crop has. So that brings up a couple of big questions, right? How in the world did one single crop get to be so central to a country's fortunes? And who's in charge of managing this critical national asset? Well, let's meet the main character in our story, the Pakistan Central Cotton Committee, or PCCC for short. They've been around since 1948, right after the country's independence. And their whole mission? To be the one-stop shop, the guiding hand for literally everything to do with cotton. Yeah, mission control is a really good way to think about it. Or maybe like the central nervous system for the whole industry. The PCC's job is basically to connect the dots, to make sure the amazing science happening in the lab actually makes it to the giant textile mills that, keep the economy humming. All right, so this mission control idea sounds good, but what do they actually do day to day? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how they manage all this white gold. Okay, so their work follows this really smart, powerful cycle. First, they act like guardians for this massive genetic library of cotton species. Then, they use that library to breed new and improved varieties. But they don't just release them. Oh no. These new plants go through intense testing all over the country. Only the best of the best, the real champions, get the green light to be released to farmers. It's a system built for constant, relentless improvement. And we're not just talking about growing more cotton. The research here gets super specific, really fascinating stuff. They're trying to engineer plants that can fight off nasty things like the cotton leaf curl virus. They're working on ways to use fewer pesticides. And crucially, they're making sure the cotton fiber itself is top-notch. Good enough to meet those strict international standards. Plus, they're helping farmers get the most out of every acre. Every single one of these areas is absolutely critical. So that's the theory. But here's the real question. Does all this careful, meticulous science actually pay off in the real world? Let's check out the track record. Well, if you look at their history, we're talking over 75 years now. You can see these big strategic moves. They started out in 48, then set up their main research hub in 1970, and then a really smart move in 2014. They packed up their headquarters and moved it right into the middle of the Cotton Belt. It shows they've always been willing to adapt. And the results? The numbers speak for themselves. They started out managing around 1 million bales back in 1948. Their work helped push that number all the way up to a peak of over 14 million. Think about that, a 14-fold increase. That's just a massive testament to decades of hard work, both in the lab and in the field. And what's really cool is you can actually see this progress in the plants themselves. Just look at this table. You've got the CIM 70 variety from '86. Now compare that to what they were putting out in 2005 and then 2018. That limp percentage, which is basically how much usable cotton you get from each plant, just keeps going up. And the fiber strength, getting better and better, which is exactly what the modern textile industry demands. It's a perfect picture of targeted, non-stop innovation. So when you add it all up, over its entire history, the committee has developed and released more than 50 of these elite, high-quality cotton varieties to farmers. And every single one was a step up from the one before it. But you know how it is. A great track record is one thing, but it's no guarantee for the future. And right now, that legacy is up against some serious 21st century pressures. So looking forward, the PCC's job isn't just about getting bigger numbers anymore. It's really about survival, about stability. Their mission is now a core part of this huge national strategy called Cotton Vision 2030, which is all about trying to revive the country's economic fortunes. And the challenges they're facing, they are immense. You've got climate change throwing all kinds of extreme weather at them. You've got pests that are getting smarter and more resistant. Water is getting harder and harder to come by. All of this puts incredible pressure not just on the farmers, but on the scientists in the lab who are basically in a race against time to find answers for these massive modern threats. And yet, Through all of this, the PCCC's job has never been more vital. It's still the central hub, right? The main library of knowledge and expertise for the entire industry. It's the place everyone turns to.
So where does that leave us? What's the big takeaway from all of this history when we think about what's next?
Look, there's no denying the PCC's past success. They literally helped build an industry that defines a whole economy. But their biggest test? It's happening right now. Their ability to innovate, to fight back against today's unprecedented challenges, that's what's going to decide the future of Pakistan's most important industry. The story of white gold, well, it's far from over.